Hi cuties, my name is Kozumi and this is the channel Nerdy Nekoma. Everything here is about Haikyuuchat stories and fanfic. Thanks for joining us today. If you like this video, please consider subscribing and leaving a like. Welcome to today's video. It's the fourth and final part of my SakuAtsu vampire AU. I do plan on making a little bonus part with Osasuna, but that's it for now for this series. Thank you all for sharing this journey with me. I hope you like it, and let's jump straight into it. When Natsume woke up, the first thing he noticed was a warm, pleasant feeling lingering in his mind and heart. He felt utterly comfortable and content. Almost giddy. The fuzzy feeling spread throughout his whole body like electricity. Part of him wanted to stay like this forever, huddled up in his blanket and breathing in Ami's scent. Wait, Ami's scent? In his bed? His heart was racing and all the fuzziness faded. In a matter of seconds, he was awake. He rushed to get up and regretted it immediately. A sharp pain jolted through his nerves. Everything hurt. He felt as if he had been run over by a train. His muscles were sore and his throat hoarse. A throbbing in his head announced an upcoming migraine, and he felt dehydrated to say the least. He got up more carefully this time and found that walking was quite the opposite of pleasant. Natsume dragged himself towards the bathroom, his vision a little blurry at the seams and an increasing dizziness filling his head. By the time he reached the sink, he had to grab it for support and black dots started to dance before his eyes. He tried reaching for the faucet, which resulted in him pushing a bunch of stuff to the ground. The loud noise was followed by waves of pain piercing through his head. He groaned and felt his knees getting weaker, but before Natsume could collapse and kiss the bathroom tiles, his body collided with SakuAstu. "What are you doing here, idiot? Did you even think for a second before jumping into action?" SakuAstu shifted Natsume in his arms so that he could carry him back to the bed easily. "Ami, you stayed." The vampire rolled his eyes. Natsume had this stupid grin on his face, and Kiyomi almost convinced himself that the blonde was actually happy about that. "What are you talking about? Of course I did. It's my fault after all." A frown appeared on Natsume's face. "Wait, Ami?" He tried pushing himself away from the other. A sharp pain, as if someone had pierced his heart with a dagger, ran through Kiyomi at the gesture. He deserved it, but it still hurt seeing that Natsume finally rejected him. His jaw clenched tightly, even though he ought to say something. Anything to reassure Natsume that he wouldn't hurt him, just help him until he was safe. "Ami, I haven't showered yet. I mean, don't you... Isn't this uncomfortable?" SakuAstu looked at him dumbfounded. Natsume wasn't wrong, of course, but for him to think about that now... How did he even survive on his own for this long? He placed him on the bed carefully and suppressed the urge to run back to the bathroom himself. His fears resurfaced when Natsume mentioned them after SakuAstu had forcefully shoved them down the whole morning. He felt uncomfortable in his skin, and an itchy feeling spread and lingered where their bodies touched, even though SakuAstu had put on gloves and a mask again. "Ami?" "It's bearable." SakuAstu didn't dare to look him in the eyes. They would reflect either concern or pain, and the vampire couldn't even tell which would be worse. Don't lie. I'm not... He could feel Atsumu staring at him. This is more important right now. It's my responsibility to make sure that you are okay. It's not. Why would it... Okay, you know what? We will talk about that later. I'm fine right now. Nothing is going to happen to me while I just lay here, unless you think the pillows started plotting a conspiracy against me. Seriously? Atsumu grinned. See? Ridiculous. So you can go and do whatever you have to. I'll wait here. They stared at each other and waited for the other to budge. Atsumu's grin turned into a triumphant smirk when Sakusa sighed in defeat. The challenge was tempting, but Kiyomi felt more uncomfortable by the second, to the point where ignoring the feeling became impossible. You promise? Huh? Sakusa rolled his eyes. To wait here. No more stupid actions like getting up even though you are about to pass out and can't even stand properly. Not true. I lost my balance for a second. That was it. Everything was under control. Sure. Seriously, if I wouldn't have been imprisoned in this apartment with you for weeks, I'd be really concerned the blood loss might have caused brain damage. Atsumu pouted and crossed his arms. He flinched a little and paled when a new wave of pain rushed through his body, but otherwise suppressed any reaction. Sakusa leaned closer again. Atsumu? He huffed. Please, look at me. Sakusa's voice was soft and gentle. The words almost sounded like a lullaby, and Atsumu had a hard time resisting. Please? Fine, what do... He stopped mid-sentence. Sakusa was a lot closer than expected. Atsumu felt a familiar heat rising to his cheeks under the intense glare of the ravenet. Don't get up until I come back, okay? Fine. Sakusa looked at him, unconvinced. You promise? Gosh, you're even worse than Osamu. The vampire raised an eyebrow. I already said fine. He sighed and made his way towards the bathroom. The answer wasn't exactly satisfying, but knowing Atsumu, it was the best he would get. Sakusa didn't exactly know what he had expected when leaving Atsumu alone, or why he thought the blonde would actually listen to him. He simply chose to hope for the best and get back before Atsumu got too bored. Wrong choice. The scene unfolding in front of him was at the same time ridiculous and astonishing. Atsumu was laying on the ground between the bed and the closet. One leg, still entangled in the bedsheets, was simultaneously reaching for the bottom drawer with his hand. When he noticed the vampire standing in the doorframe, he grinned up at him sheepishly. So, technically, I didn't get up. Sakusa stared at him incredulously, though he shouldn't be surprised. So, you fell? Yes, well, kinda, but like, on purpose, so it was a controlled fall and completely safe. Remind me again why I'm trying to keep you alive. Atsumu huffed again. I don't need your help to stay alive. I managed just fine for years on my own. It's truly a miracle. He pouted, and as if trying to prove his point, attempted to pull himself up on the bed again. Sakusa watched him for a moment, doing his best not to laugh or give away how much he loved the sight of Atsumu. Do you need help? No. He insisted and doggedly continued what looked like a fight against gravity. After a few more seconds, Sakusa could see his eyes getting glassy again. He intervened before Atsumu could faint and helped him back on the bed. This time, however, he made sure to keep the contact to a minimum, since he didn't want to know what Atsumu would come up with if he left him a second time. I told you, I didn't need your help. Maybe not, but I wanted to give it to you. This is mainly my fault after all. No, as you said, we can talk about it later, when both of us have a clear mind again. You lost quite an amount of blood, so it's important that your body has the chance to recover. I prepared some food, and you need to drink a lot. Do you think you'll be able to stay still for about 5 seconds so that I can get the items? Atsumu looked like he wanted to argue, but if it was for the pain or simply exhaustion, he swallowed his pride and nodded. The vampire made sure he ate everything and drank a generous amount of water, though it turned out to be far more easy than expected. Atsumu complied without complaints, and was soon back to his usual, annoying and for some reason attractive, upbeat self. How do you feel? Good. Atsumu, please, don't lie. The blonde sighed and a sad smile replaced the wide grin. I'm not lying, Kiyomi. Sure, maybe I'm still a bit sore, but I do feel good. You make me feel good. Atsumu. I know. Believe me, I know. And I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. But the thought that you would leave, and I would never get the chance to tell you how much I like you, it's unfair of me, and I'm sorry. I guess I'm just hoping that you'd stay, that there was a chance for us to... Tsumu. Atsumu looked up. Silent tears ran down his face. It left Sakusa speechless. I'm sorry. Go. I will be okay. Don't worry. I won't. Ami, I don't want you to stay because you pity me. That's not... Damn it, Atsumu. You know that I'm not good with words. A strangled chuckle escaped the blonde's throat. First of all, how can I expect you to be fine when you won't even allow yourself to rest? Hey! Like I said, it's close to a miracle that you survived on your own this long. I really should send your brother a thank you card. Osamu had nothing to do with that. I'm perfectly capable of looking after myself. The best even. Sakusa laughed. I'm serious though. None of this is your fault. If anything, it's mine. I basically forced you to drink my blood, even though you didn't want to. I forced myself on you. Technically, I did. Stop making excuses for me. I didn't ask for your consent. I gave it to you beforehand. Not for that. Atsumu stared at him stubbornly. One could cut the tension between them with a knife. He groaned frustrated. Ami. Atsumu's tone was soft. His eyes reflected the compassion he had shown Sakusa over the past weeks. Why? It wasn't like he deserved it. Now less than ever. I would have said something if I didn't want it. Atsu gulped. Do you want to leave? SakuAstu looked down, his face twisting into a sad expression. No. Then don't. I don't want you to leave. Stay. Please, stay. The thought of leaving Atsu behind hurt, even more than last night. He sighed and sat down beside Atsu. Is that really what you want? Yes. You don't really know what's good for you, do you? A cocky grin spread on the blonde's face. Oh, I think after last night I have a pretty good idea of... Tsimu. I'm serious. The other side. I know, Ami. I do mean it though. You make me feel good. Not just because of that. His cheeks were burning up and he felt like he was getting a fever. But in general, your presence calms me and I get all warm and fuzzy. SakuAstu raised an eyebrow at him, which didn't really improve the situation. You know what? Screw it. Leave before I die of embarrassment. He pulled the blanket above his head, sulking. The vampire laughed. Come on, Tsumi. He nudged him gently in his side and tugged at the blanket. You look cute when you're embarrassed. Atsu huffed and clenched the blanket tighter. It's very endearing. Atsu was very close to just throwing insults at him when he got a better idea. He lifted the blanket slightly, peeking up at Kiyomi, his face still halfway covered. So, you'll stay? He gave him his best puppy eyes, which the other commented with a groan. Tsimu, that's not fair. What? He played innocent and sat up slightly, closing the distance between them bit by bit. Please, stay on me. Fine. The vampire rubbed the bridge of his nose in defeat. Your fault if I end up eating you one day. Oh, I wouldn't mind you eating me out. The cocky smirk returned and SakuAstu was so close to punching him in the face. That's not what I mean, and you know that. Now come on, if you have the energy to be a pain in the ass, you also have the energy to take a bath. Carry me? Forget it. The Ravener took the lead and prepared the bath as the other followed. Thank you for watching till the end. I hope you enjoyed it, the video as well as the whole series altogether. This is actually the first series on my channel that I finished. Like I said, I do want to do a bonus part with Asasuna, but this series in itself is finished. But it's not even the first one on my channel. Talking about the first one, little hint, Fragile Part 5 is going to be up next week. And it's going to be the final part, which makes me kind of really sad and emotional, but okay. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day.
That'll have what you need. We're broken, it's tragic, we're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic, believe you could have it. And I know of sadness, the anxious and panic, the infinite vastness of all that is blackness.